Welcome to the Filmcast review of Weapons. I'm going to read the plot summary of this movie from IMDb. When every child from the same class mysteriously vanishes on the same night at exactly the same time, a community is left questioning who or what is behind their disappearance. End quote. I think we were all pretty big fans of Zach Cregger's last movie, Barbarian.
So
Very
good.
eager to see his follow-up, Weapons, which was a hit at the box office this weekend. Devindra Hardwar, let's get into it. What did you think of Zach Cregger's Weapons?
This is my kind of horror movie. I freaking love this because, and it kind of starts even before you get into the movie, because I think the initial trailers for this, which I don't know when you guys ended up seeing it, if at all, Jeff, before we played the audio for this, but the buildup for this movie was so good. Like the concept, all these kids leaving a town trying to figure out the disappearance, the idea that they just run away at night. And as a parent, there's nothing stopping that from happening. Your kid could just get up and go unless you've like armed your security around your house or something. It's just a thing that can happen if your kid gets that in their mind. Just these
one of the top
ideas.
Google search results around Weapons is Weapons based on a true story. You know, so
Well,
it's like
explicitly says it is based on a true story at the beginning.
Yeah.
So this story is true. They say at the beginning. Which
the narrator frames it as though you don't see text on the screen that says based on a true story.
No,
but the narrator frames
just
it
like
as though it is.
Fargo, where
it's a
it's
story.
like the following events really. So it's I would.
Well, it's not like Fargo. I want to be clear. It is not like Fargo. It is the narrator in the universe of the story is telling it as though it is a child.
Right.
Right.
So, it's Fargo in the sense that it is purporting to be true when it is not true.
Sure.
So I would. The only reason I bring that up is because I don't think people just spontaneously decided to Google that. I think you come back from that movie and you go, it said it was true. Mm-hmm. Boy, that sure doesn't seem like it is. Let's Google.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the thing people would do.
I would say that it is not just the narrator saying it, but the quote unquote aesthetics of the movie, the way the poster is marketed, like a lot of the components around. I think we're actually in agreement. Like a lot of the components around the movie make you feel as though this might be based off of a true story. It is in fact not based off a true story. Yeah, it is not based off a true story. But I think Devindra is motioning at the fact that the marketing for this movie is very effective because it presents this central mystery. What happened? What happened here? Like, what caused that to happen?
What would you do? How would you react as a parent, as a teacher? But also, they did these cool things where at some point they released just like the ring camera footage of the kids running away. Just like 2 hours of footage of like really creepy night footage of kids running away in the Naruto running pose. And let me I don't know. I don't know how you feel about this, Jeff, or if you've noticed this in your child, but my daughter went to daycare for 1 week and she was doing the Naruto running pose. And it is a deadly virus that's out there among the children, running fast, arms behind you. What can happen? So I love that this movie even kind of, I don't know, gives you a bit of that imagery. The movie itself is fantastic too. I don't think it's as good a movie as Barbarian was, or as surprising as Barbarian was, but it is such a fun horror movie experience, right? Like I had a semi-full crowd with me and people were reacting to it. But it's not a movie that's just about dread. I love horror movies about dread, but this is also one that is like, Zach Cregger is a comedian, like former sketch comedian. So he has like a lot of those sensibilities, and the build up, the way you kind of build up a joke or manage tension in horror is kind of similar at times. And I feel like he applies those, what he has learned in this movie. So some bits are kind of scary. There's some jump scares, but also it is really fun to be going along this ride with an audience and hearing people react to it. Some bits are just genuinely funny. And, I think thematically I'm trying to figure out, like, is this movie having any bigger, broader ideas that, like, it seemed like Barbarian was kind of doing around Airbnbs and gentrification? I don't know if it does that, but it is a good experience. It's a fun experience. So yeah, I absolutely love this.
Jeff Canada, your thoughts on Weapons?
Well, Dave, I guess you could say my thoughts on Weapons are best summed up in the form of a limerick.
Let's hear it.
At its best, horror's always pertaining to the fears that our culture's retaining. This time it's my fear that the theme is unclear because this film is just too entertaining. I loved this movie so very much. I heard that it was about children in peril, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to see this.
I was worried for you, Jeff. Like, I thought this would be a bummer, just like Bring Her Back was. And that movie, bummer of a horror movie.
Yeah. Really thought. And the setup at the beginning very much is like, oh God, this is my worst nightmare. Oh geez, this is literally something. And I might take a little exception with what you say, Devindra, in that I hear my kids stir the slightest thing and I wake up. So I don't know. I mean, my kids are, I hear the door creak, my daughter's door has a little squeak to it. And I have told my wife, we are not WD-40ing that at all, because that squeak of the door wakes me up out of a dead slumber.
Jeff would be at the beginning part of this movie. Jeff would be running down the street.
You're damn right.
After his child.
You're damn right. Yeah. I would get to them before they got to the front door. I'll tell you that. Anyway, but the remarkable thing about this movie, I think, is that how much of it isn't a horror movie.
Yes.
We are in a really interesting film that we kind of start in this horror-y place and we get to a horror-y place, but there's a huge chunk where it's kind of just this really wonderful character piece that is told in such an interesting way. Man, if this is not another poster child for how you tell something, like the way something is told is so important, and can be so such an improvement to, like, if you just set out the plot of this movie, it's not as good as how this movie is constructed and the way it weaves a yarn and withholds certain things. And just as you're getting interested in one thing, it hops over to something else. Really wonderful, wonderful, wonderful on just a pure script level. And for the longest time, I mean, not longest, but for, long stretches, there's no scares. There's no, we're having kind of a wonderful time. So if people are like, I don't want to go to see a horror movie, like the horror moments are few and far between, and and they are intense when they happen. There's some intensely violent stuff that also is pretty satisfying to watch. But I think this is a real crowd pleaser of a movie on a number of levels, not just on a horror level. That said, what I was referring to in my limerick, and I think, it really stood out as Devindra was speaking, is I think this movie is so good and so fun and so entertaining and ends on such a crescendo of a number of things, and it has so much just pure visceral fun and sort of grip your seat good time, that the deeper stuff that I think this movie really wants to be talking about is lost, or it can be lost. There is a reason this movie has the title it has. And it's clear that the filmmakers really wanted to be saying something more profound than, and I think it's in there. It's embedded in the movie. It's in the DNA of this movie. But I do think most people will walk out of this movie with it just sailing right over their heads. And that is literally my only gripe. My only criticism of what I consider to be a near perfect movie. I mean, I'd probably take out a couple of dream sequences that I just don't like dream sequences in movies. There's a couple of dream sequences early on in this movie. Unnecessary.
I wouldn't take anything out, but I also hate dream sequences in movies.
Well, I don't think they needed to be in this movie particularly. Yeah. I don't think they added much. Anyway, tiny gripe, but I think this movie is really near perfect on so many levels. It just, I think, doesn't land the central theme that it seems to be obsessed with. You can see what it wants to get to, but it just can't help itself from being so entertaining and sort of like pay off things in really satisfying ways. We'll talk about the very end, the very, very, very end of this movie, the last beat, drives it home. But I think it's the kind of thing where most people won't even be thinking about it because they've just had so much fun. They just had such a great time. And it's a weird criticism to have, but I do think that the actual, as I said in the limerick, the best horror or the best fantasy, the best, any kind of fantasy is making the metaphor literal, right? Is making it real. And so the best horror movies take some sort of almost abstracted or ephemeral fear that we have and focusing, putting it into a guy with a scary face or whatever it is. And a lot of movies do so well by like capturing the zeitgeist, capturing this thing that we haven't really even put voice to or whatever, and making it feel like, oh, here it is in a horror movie. And this movie does that too, but it also, like, I think that thing it's really talking about will be lost to a lot of people. And I think the movie could have landed that in a better way. It's really my only
interesting
qualm to what I think will probably be in my top 10 of the year is really just a hell of a movie. So good.
I love this movie. I actually think it's a masterpiece. I think it might be my number one movie of the year. I think it might beat out Sinners as my number one movie of the year right now. Like that, it is, if not decisively, it is definitely like in content. It's up there, in my opinion.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
as it should be. It's so good.
And I'll just point out a couple things. The stuff that bothered Jeff did not bother me nearly as much. I think because if you hear Zach Cregger be interviewed about this film, he does not really even talk about some of what I think are some really obvious themes, or at the very least subtext in the movie. Yeah. He talks about how he made this movie because he was in a point of grief. One of his friends from The Whitest Kids You Know had died tragically, and he was like in a place of grief and like wrote the script from that point.
Trevor Moore.
Yeah. Trevor Moore, that's right. I don't think he was trying to make any kind of explicit political point, at least as he purports in interviews. Now, maybe he actually does and he doesn't want to talk about it. But I would say that it's possible for a film to be really good at making points, even if the director's not intended, right? And so I think
I just don't know why you title it this title, if not.
Well, we can talk about that in the spoilers, but what I think, Jeff, is that it's a rich text and that it works as both a piece of populist entertainment and also has some deeper meanings if you choose to look at it, right? And I think that's totally fine for a movie, and I would not count that against the movie. I'll point out a couple things I really liked about the film. The movie takes place in different chapters, and so you're in like different characters' perspectives. And so like it's like you start with the first character is, I think, Miss Gandhi, right? Who is you hear about in the trailer, and what there's two amazing things about how the movie's structured. One of them is how good it is at the subjective perspective in each of these chapters.
Yes.
A lot of the chapters are shot from POV, or like looking at the character, or like behind the shoulder, behind the waist. Like you are really in that character's perspective and lived experience. And what's cool too, I thought was awesome, is when different perspectives interact, they never use the same camera angles. They never use the same shots, right? It's always from a different perspective. If like character 1 and character 2, who are different chapters, like they have a section of like an intersection, it's always different takes or shots that they used to demarcate, like, hey, that's a different perspective. You saw that person's perspective, now you're in a different person's perspective. And that's wonderful. And then, of course, what Jeff hinted at too, which is that the way in which this movie reveals information to the audience is awesome. It's just like you are drawn in. You're like, okay, why are we? I had a moment where I was thinking, why are we even talking about this guy? Like, why are we even in this person's perspective? I don't care. I want to go back to the central mystery. And then, of course, you realize, oh, like that's how that person fits into what's going on. And that's like the movie gives the audience many of those moments of realization that are really, really effective. So yeah, go ahead.
The other thing I'll add to that with regard to information reveals is one of the things that I think is a hallmark of horror is establishing the rules of your world. And I think this movie conveys its rules better than I think I've ever seen.
Without much exposition, like without
no exposition,
no one explaining to you what's going on.
You get it 100%. When another character gets it, you are so on the page with that character. You're like,
so
yes,
good.
Get it, you got it.
It's so good.
But
it's so good.
It's beautiful. It's so efficient. It's so clear. It's just incredible.
Loved it. Loved it. Yeah. So anyway, like. And just the premise is an irresistible mystery. It's like, what is going on? Yeah. And I think the movie does a satisfying job of answering that question. And so it's like, and we haven't even gotten to the subtext things, right? We haven't even gotten to the subtext, which I don't want to get into right now because it's in I think we should do that in spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
But suffice to say, I think this movie is amazing. I tried to watch it twice before we did this review because I was like,
it's so good.
I think people will be talking about this movie for decades. Now, I get out of the, I had the same reaction for Eddington where I'm like, everyone's going to freaking hate this thing. And then I get out of the movie and it's like, lots of people like it. And I get out of this movie, Weapons. I'm like,
did you see this movie by yourself, Dave? Were there other people in the theater with you?
Oh, no, there are people in the theater. There are people, and they liked it. But it's like,
so it's like, I don't know why you think everybody would hate it. Yeah.
But I got a lot of pushback. Like, there's a lot of people that think the movie is very mediocre, that think the movie is not great. And so it's like, I don't know. And I'm like, self-evidently, this is incredible. Like, I'm looking around like, how can I watch this and not think this is like amazing?
This movie is sitting at 95% Rotten Tomatoes, 87% Popcornometer. I saw like 2 negative reviews. And I think there were some good points, but like, there was no overarching negative weight.
I guess then Meta's threads just serves your opinions up to people who are definitely going to hate that point of view.
Maybe you should find a better social media network.
that is
if Meta's threads can lead us astray, what have we left?
What have we? So goes threads. There goes the nation as well. All right. Anyway,
wait. One more quick thing I want to say is that another thing that I found impressive, which I didn't even know going in, because the way this movie starts, it felt like it could go a different way. Is I'm impressed that this takes place now. Like, we've talked so much about how a lot of these things are easier if you set them in the 70s or the 80s or something where we don't have to worry about
pre-iPhone. It's so different. Yeah.
But this movie, it's like, no. And not only does it take place now, but as you guys mentioned, we're using Ring cameras. We're understanding how this would actually play out right now. And it doesn't detract. It actually enhances the way what we're talking about. And I found that to be actually pretty impressive, because this is the kind of mystery that you'd be like, well, it would certainly be easier in the 70s when everybody just didn't know about stuff. And we just, but like, no, we're setting it now. We're making it work, and it does work.
I agree. All right. We all loved Weapons. Let's get to spoiler thoughts about Weapons starting right now. I want to start with this email from Rick, writing into /filmcast@gmail.com. Saw Weapons, loved it, but they blatantly lie in the marketing, and I really hope you discuss it in the spoiler section of your review. In all the marketing, they flat out say every student from the class is missing. Then you watch the movie, and right from the jump, they tell you that one kid, Alex, was there. On one hand, I get it, because if they tell you in the marketing that one kid is there, then before you see the movie, that's where your mind goes. On the other hand, they flat out lied in the marketing, and very intentionally so. Overall, I don't think that's cool. We were misled as to the premise of the movie. The premise is that all but one kid is missing. Not every kid is missing. By the way, this is all in all caps that this email is being written.
Objectively wrong. You were objectively wrong.
Okay. Would love to hear your thoughts. Would love to hear your thoughts on this. Jeff will say that this is even more proof to not watch trailers. But it's also in the poster. And I am bothered by blatant lying in film marketing. Even Jeff should be bothered that the masses are being lied to by the studio.
Lie more.
Yes.
Lie more.
I got to agree with Jeff. I mean, I think that it's one thing if a movie is miscommunicating the sort of overall feel.
Genre, maybe? Yeah.
Right. Then it's like, then I understand, like, you can be angry about that. But anytime a movie lies to you or allows for the movie to surprise you in some way, is awesome. Like, I did not know that there was one kid left.
You should be hoping for.
Yes. And honestly, the way it's revealed in the movie is
awesome.
Really good. You see a behind the waist shot of Julia Garner as she's walking into class, and then it's like
empty class.
Completely
and then, empty.
And then the camera turns around and you realize Julia Garner's body was blocking this one kid sitting in the back the whole time.
Is in the trailer. That
it's
shot is in the trailer of her walking in the class, but
they just cut it off before it reveals the kid. It's amazing.
Well played, movie.
Yeah, love it.
Yes.
Love it.
You are wrong, emailer. Okay. You are wrong. I'm using all caps.
Don't use
I
all
will
caps.
also
but
say,
also like
if you had put that in the poster, it changes the whole tone of the poster. Like if you're like, every kid vanished except one, then you're like, well, what the fuck is going on with the one? Like, but that's not what
clearly
the movie
he's
wants
up to something.
That's not what the marketing wants you to think about. It wants you to think about the central mystery, which is that all these kids are missing. What's the deal with that? So like, in a way, excluding that fact or lying to you, it does more honor to the actual premise of what the movie's trying to do. So anyway.
I wish more movies
that Rick is incorrect. So
I wish more movies did that in trailers and marketing too. Also, who is saying these words? Who's the one telling you the story in the trailer?
We never find out.
You never find out.
Yeah. You never find out. But also, it's like unreliable narrators are totally a thing. It's also a child telling you this story. So
it's. Do you guys remember when the Avengers Infinity War trailer had Hulk in it? Right, this is a big thing. Like they put Hulk in the Avengers Infinity War trailer, but he's like not in that shot because he's like on another planet at that point in time.
Oh yeah, they screwed with us a lot.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, that's completely fine. It's completely fine. We should encourage more of that because then it's like you get to discover things when you get to the theater, and that's wonderful. I think so.
It's fine.
I
cultivate a vibe for your movie, rather than delivering everything. And the trailer does like have a lot of like shots as things get crazier in the movie. So like those were there, but I really prefer the way it just like shapes the way you think of this movie. It totally is fine. For me.
I couldn't agree more. The goal should be an understanding, as you said, of the vibe, of the sort of feeling.
Yes.
Like that's what I want to, that's the decision I want to be able to make as a consumer is what feeling do I want tonight when I go to the theater? Not what are the details of this story.
Right.
Like the actual details should be revealed by the movie itself.
Yeah.
Give me a sense of the experience. Like am I going to go laugh? Tell me that I'm going to go laugh.
Right.
Am I going to go be a little scared? Tell me that.
I will say I laughed a lot more in this movie than I thought I would. I think
the trailer did not tell you were going to laugh in this movie.
That are really
the trailers
funny.
are dark, very dark. So that's a bit of a surprise there.
Yeah. All right. I don't even know how to start talking about this movie, but I guess we can talk. Like, Jeff, maybe a good place to start is by talking about like what we think the subtext of the movie is, right? Mm-hmm. Because what I think many people's minds go to, very reasonably so, is that this mirrors what happens when there's a school shooting, right? And like a lot of kids are killed in a class.
Yeah.
And like, how does that reverberate out among the community? There's a scene in the movie where Josh Brolin has a dream where I think it's like an M4, like an M4 automatic weapon, right?
An AR-15.
Yeah, so something like that. Yeah, a weapon that is used, like looks like one that's used in school shootings, appears above his house. Now in the movie, he's very literal about it. He's very literal about it. He says they're turning these kids into weapons, right? And so like that's the literal explanation of why there is a weapon in the movie, right?
Right.
But I think there's a lot of subtext, Jeff. You could interpret it as a school shooting. Honestly, for me, my big interpretation is that we as a society have completely fucked over our children, right? Like we have made it so that we are one of the first generations where our kids are going to be worse off than the generation before. We've said, hey, things like climate change, school shootings, we are literally not even working on it. We're literally not even it's not even like our solutions are bad. Yeah. We're not even working on it.
And things we were making progress towards, we're saying no, thank you, because don't worry about it. Politically inconvenient. So
Well,
and so that's kind of my that is on my mind a lot these days. Scott Galloway, not someone who I agree with all the time, but he did a great TED Talk and essay called "The War on Our Young" that you can kind of read to see how horribly we're screwing over the next generation.
And the character in this movie is literally using their life energy to make herself continue to live.
It's a boomer. It's a boomer literally using her life force so she can live. Right. And it's like
not a mistake, right? Not a coincidence.
Yeah.
But also every single character that we meet in this movie is acting in a violent way against the people around them. right? They are a weapon in their own lives, in this sort of recklessness with which they conduct their own personal affairs, right? Every single the only innocent, the only sort of righteous, sort of kind, selfless, compassionate person is Benedict Wong, who gets murdered. Right. Who does not survive the experience. Right. But every single other person is acting recklessly, is acting selfishly and disrupting people's lives. We see Josh Brolin, like the woman is like, he's like, hey, can I see your ring footage? She's like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. Cut to the husband coming in. Fuck you, bitch. I'm in here. I'm looking at your shit. You know?
Oh, that was amazing when so it cuts to Josh Brolin and Justin Long looking at the footage, and then the reverse shot where you see the wife in the background is incredible. It's just like
incredible.
She's standing there the whole time.
So unhappy with it.
Amazing shot.
Zach Cregger also becoming the guy who surprises us with Justin Long in movies now.
Yes,
so,
I know.
Yes,
he actually has a very small part in this, but lovely how uncomfortable he is throughout the entire. Really lovely small performance.
Right.
But you know, Julia Garner, of course, obviously ruins a marriage in this selfishly. And Aiden Eichenreich is, complete loose cannon.
There is a shot where Alden Ehrenreich is walking
I
out
said
of
it all wrong. Sorry.
Walking out of the police station. He's just had a talk with his wife, and it's literally the saddest I have seen someone look in a movie in years. Like, he's walking out, he just looks like so depressed, like he has the weight of the world on his shoulder. I was like, even that one moment made this movie worth watching, because it's like such a potent moment. And but by the way, Jeff, you could make the case that all the adults are terrible, including Benedict Wong. I think I'm not disputing your own interpretation, but one could interpret Benedict Wong's character as more concerned with school procedure or keeping up appearances of school than actually helping this child who's in need, which is the case of Alex, right?
I guess you could. My interpretation was that he's willing to do whatever it takes to protect the kid, and it seemed like he was willing to bend over backwards, use his own time, go to their house, like do whatever he needs to do. It prevent Justine from talking to like he was worried about the kid's well-being over. But that's just, I think that's quibbling about.
But I think it's like, but like there is, I think, a part of the movie that's about like all the adults have some kind of addiction issue is kind of what I understand. Like, and in the case of Benedict Wong's character, there is a very, very odd shot in the movie where they're about to eat food and he has 6 hot dogs. He and his partner are about to eat 6 hot dogs.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? I have never eaten fewer than 3 hot dogs in a sitting. So that 2 people, 6 hot dogs makes perfect sense.
6 hot dogs, totally fine. That's a meal, and also perfectly presented. They're in their little lounge chairs. They're going to watch their stories. I love the domesticity of that whole setting, and also how much attention he paid to those freaking hot dogs.
I do just want to mention that there is a trope in movies called bury your gays, right? Where that the likelihood of an LGBTQIA plus person ability to survive to the end of the movie is almost 0 in general. And I do just want to mention, like, I think many people have been upset by the fact that Benedict Wong's character, obviously, like he and his partner get some of the most
brutally head smashes his partner.
Which that did make me uncomfortable, and I was kind of like, what? Part of me does not, to this moment, still doesn't understand why the director writer made them gay characters only to give them such brutal deaths. Like, was he trying to say something about?
He's also one of the few people of color in this movie too.
Right.
So
now I know that all like other characters get brutal deaths as well. So I'm not saying like they're the only people that get brutal deaths. I know other characters, but it is one of the most brutal. It's also like kind of the first brutal death.
It's genuinely heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking what happens, because he is a kind-hearted guy that just wanted to help, and he lets this woman in through being kind. A lot of people be like, "No, you cannot come in here."
Yeah, I would have never let that person in. I just want that to be clear.
Oh yeah, I would have bet money for sure.
The clown lady at the door, you wouldn't let her in.
You would have called the cops the instant she rang the doorbell.
I did love though. She's like, "Hey, can I?" She's like, "Can I get a glass of water in a bowl, please?" It's a peculiarity.
Incredible.
and I don't even feel like I want to explain it anymore.
No. I have decided I no longer even need to rationalize it.
Don't even need to rationalize it. Yeah.
That is maybe my favorite performance of the entire film.
So good. Yeah.
It is transcendent how just unhinged but you buy that people will give her a little deference.
Right? She's weaponizing their niceness.
Yes.
Crazy old lady in my house. She's going through something traumatic. Like I'm gonna give her what she wants. Sure.
That scene where she just goes about doing a witch's brew in their kitchen as they stand there and watch is incredible.
Yeah.
She's just politely asking for the things she needs, walks up and snips that dude's hair, and he's like, well, what'd you do that for? This is calmly just going about her witch business.
Yeah.
And by the way,
yeah,
the fact that this has a Hansel and Gretel, classic Grimm's fairy tale witch, but spun in such a modern way is so freaking brilliant. It's one of the coolest depictions of witches I've ever seen in a movie. And the fact that we seed that idea with the paint on the car is how we seed the idea of witches in this movie. So rad. And then the reveal of the paint can with the just so great.
And and realizing, it's Josh Brolin. And they never showed Josh Brolin doing it. You just need to make the connection that's
do
what
the
happened.
math. Do the math.
Yeah.
And the first time we hear Josh Brolin, he's in the background. You can't even see his face at the PTA meeting.
Yeah. It's good.
It's wild how this movie can be both a ton of fun, really crowd pleasing, but also it is sad. It is genuinely I felt so bad for that kid Alex as we start to see what happened with his parents.
I mean, the Alex segment is the emotional pinnacle of the movie, right? You're like, okay, we're fucking around with these adults. Who can? And then it goes to Alex, and it's like, holy shit! And then you start before any of the tragedies even happen. So you're like, shit! This is. Everyone needs to lock in now because this is going to be some real shit we're about to watch.
The parents just forking their faces while he has to sit there and watch. Unreal.
A kid having that responsibility.
I'm like, how did they make this movie in a responsible way to not traumatize this child actor? Because there's a moment where he goes up to the parent. He goes up to the parent. Well, it's not like they could just do it in reverse shot where he's not seeing that. It's he literally is going up to the parent and taking the arm down. It's how are they doing this?
Just so sad.
It is incredibly sad. It is incredibly powerful. Him having to feed them all that stuff, and then him having to feed the other kids too. The kid that was picking on him, he has to feed the kid that was picking on him. Beautiful.
Which, by the way, is Josh Brolin's kid, I believe.
Oh, really?
The bully is Josh Brolin's kid, I believe.
Yeah. The reason that I think this movie is, in contrast to what you said about the director's kind of comments, the reason I think this movie is a polemic, is because of the very, very end.
Exactly same thing. I was until then. It is kind of like a crowd pleasing, the way it ends with them ripping her to shreds.
It's seeing the kids run through the houses.
That camera shot,
it's so satisfying.
Shot where it just runs after them. Beautiful, beautiful.
Hell
stuff.
yeah, get her kids, get her kids. But that shot where Justine goes into the bedroom. And you see the back of and I'm already crying in the theater because I know that the parents they're going to be hugging. I know it. I know exactly what's going to happen. They're going to be hugging, but they're not okay. They're not okay. And then the final scene with Josh Brolin carrying his kid. He got to his kid. He did it. He saved the kid. But guess what? The kids are not okay. And that is the fucking gut punch of this movie that you walk out. And I don't know how many people are going to land that. I don't know how many people are going to carry that out with them because it's such a fun crescendo. It's such a, but they're fucking not okay.
The final line was as the narrator saying is and some of them began to speak again.
After a year, some of them even began to speak again. Right. Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
Boom.
That's the thing we're doing to our kids.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing we're doing to our kids, and the fact that the narrator is another kid telling you about what happened to those other kids, and it happens every fucking day in this country.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
I don't think the movie is only about that. I don't think it's only about that, but I think the movie is undeniably about that. And I don't know if it will hit people in the way it's intended to.
I would agree with you, Jeff, that last line really took the movie from, oh, this is just like a crowd-pleasing horror film to, oh, he's trying to say something with this, right? Because they could have just ended it like everyone's happy and everyone's okay. Like that would have been a great, I think people would have loved that ending. People would be like,
it makes
oh,
sense.
Yes, it makes sense.
It's beautiful.
Like,
you would have had an incredible shot. We come around the kid. The parents are hugging. They're kissing. They're like, I'm so sorry.
You leave the theater like on this high. You leave the theater like being like, wow, what a satisfying story. But
no notes. To me, you would have walked out. No notes.
To me, what the ending signifies is even if we fixed everything right now, it is too late. Like even if we made everything better today, the trauma that's already been inflicted on people is too late. Like it's already
to say it another way, to save them after it has happened is too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to swoop in, you want to get those cops into that classroom faster?
Right.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. They shouldn't have to go there at all.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Sorry.
I think you're talking in the realm of like school shootings, right? Like that this is such a huge issue in our country, and like,
and it is having a psychic.
Yeah,
it is a psychic weapon that is being waged on our kids that aren't even involved.
Yeah,
the fact that my kids have to fucking go to school shooting drills multiple times a year. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're gonna save them now, Josh Brolin's character, who represents that guy. Fuck you. You're going to do it now? Fuck you with your Ring camera. You think that protects your kid? Fuck you. That's what this movie is saying. That's what that's why this movie is so powerful.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Agreed.
Yeah. I kind of wish it leaned more into that, because it does feel like you could also read it as just like, hey, it is an exploration of grief. Like this movie is an exploration of grief about this town going through this tremendous loss. And even if there's no, like, that loss has happened, you know, your children have been taken away, even if they come back to you, even if you have some way to deal with your grief, like it's not going to be the same as before that person left. So kind of reading that into it as well. But I totally hear you, Jeff.
Again, my position is it's a rich text, and even if he didn't literally intend any of that, right? Like you could still read it as saying that, and I think that's
he intended it. He intended it. You don't end the movie like that. You don't title the movie that unless you intend it. And I don't blame him for not explicitly saying it in interviews. I don't blame him for that.
Yeah, because that would really polarize the audience in a lot of ways.
Don't want to politicize things.
Yeah.
Zach Cregger, a guy who is always choosing interesting titles, by the way, because Barbarian, even at the end of that, we were like still kind of trying to figure it out. And I think the people have basically come around to being like, well, you can't spell Barbarian without Airbnb, can you? And essentially that. Yeah.
I think he's going to become one of those directors where for every movie title, you can ask the question, but who's the real movie title? And that will be the theme of the movie.
Well, he's doing Resident Evil next, so who's the real Resident Evil?
Yes. Good question, Devindra. Good question. All right. Any other thoughts on the movie? I guess I do just want to shout out the moment when Julia Garner is being strangled by Alden Ehrenreich, and she reaches and grabs a vegetable peeler to attack him with. It's such a random, disgusting moment, but it is good world building. Because you see her
because you know they like vegetables.
No, because you see her peel his face off, and then but he doesn't react to it at all. He doesn't even seem to be fazed by it, and that's kind of shows you like the degree to which this witch's powers have focus. Jeff, you're talking about the lack of exposition, and there's so many great moments, like with the salt. She's like, "Don't cross the salt." And it's like she doesn't explain what happens when you cross salt. Like, but you just know what happens. You figure it out. You figure it out. And there's so many moments like that. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought up the face peeling moment, because I wanted to ask you guys, as I was walking out of this, I wanted to ask you guys if you had ever been intimate with someone, as she has with his character, who
you need to face peel?
Yeah, no matter how, like, even if they were, I guess, assaulting you, I guess you do whatever you have to do.
They're literally trying to kill you. They're literally
I don't know if I could face peel someone. I'm just saying, no matter what, if I had been intimate with someone, even if they're trying to kill me, I don't know if I can face peel.
You just let it go down. You just let it out.
I'm not going to let it. I think there's other. Maybe I try something. I don't know if I look at the face peeler and I go, you know what'll help in this moment.
I'm going to irreparably alter their appearance.
Yeah.
With this.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess you're desperate and you do whatever you can. I just felt like, of all the things that would enter my mind in that moment, I'm not sure that just slowly stripping the skin from their flesh, or the flesh from their cheek, you know?
Yeah. There is go ahead, Devindra.
I mean, just want to shout out a couple of the jump scares too, because this movie does play with the audience expectations of like when a jump scare is going to be happening. That one dream sequence with Josh Brolin, I think, is really fun. Like, it's just masterful of him like trying to retrace the steps, the imagery, the gun over the house, and then reveal to something in the bed. It's clearly the witch, but like it's like his subconscious kind of telling him something too. I love a dream sequence. That's kind of what I love from David Lynch's stuff, where it's like what you can have a little more interesting stuff. Not everything has to be like directly plot related. I think those were fun, but also this movie was not as scary as I expected it to be. No, so there's that. Like, it has a couple of jump scares. It has some like really creepy moments, but it's mostly just like you get those sad moments with poor Alex. I think that's the scariest thing for me. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. But my favorite shot in the whole movie, and I think maybe the scariest moment in the whole movie, is Justine asleep in her car and doing the stakeout.
The woman
and the door
comes
opens.
out.
Yeah, the door opens, and we haven't really even seen the creepy clown lady yet, but she walks in such a crazy way.
Zombie
we don't see her face.
I was not sure if that was creepy clown lady. Actually, I thought that might have been.
It was the mom.
I thought that was the mom.
It's the mom. Regardless,
she's moving like a zombie.
We don't get a chance to see who it is.
Right. Yeah.
She has blonde hair. We see that.
The shot is locked. She comes up right to the window. You're like, oh fuck, what's going to happen? And then she
gets in the car.
No. It's even better because it's just the sound of a door opening.
Yeah.
And then the shears coming into frame and just taking some hair. That's all I wanted.
Yeah. So good.
But the rules of like the physicality of all the stuff she has to do, and winding the thing and then snapping it and dropping it in water to sort of to turn it off, like all of it is so clear and so clear. Awesome.
And that's where she fucked up, because it's not that hard. It's not that hard, is it? Maybe don't show the kid whose parents are holding hostage exactly how to do.
Maybe
it
should have been more complicated. It should have been more complicated.
Maybe you shouldn't have showed the kid what's going on, but you know.
So good.
There is this concept that Ebert described of a generous filmmaker, right? That like they're just showing you a bunch of. He was talking about in the case of Dark City, like showing you all these elaborate, lavish sets and all these details that you don't need. And I really do think there's a generosity of filmmaking here, in particular when it comes to all the running scenes. So there's a scene of Benedict Wong again. Like I have some qualms with like that, and I'm still processing that, and I kind of want to understand more what the deal with that was. But when Benedict Wong is running to try to kill Julia Garner's character, you see like all the different scenarios he's going through, right? Like he's at a baseball game and he's in a house, and it's like there's that serves zero plot function other than it's just really cool, like to build the atmosphere of what's going on in this.
Well, it shows how unrelenting and without any regard to the person is a cruise missile at that point.
Yeah,
like they will go from point A to point B no matter what.
Right.
And it's what is accompanying that scene is just this like heavy breathing. Just like tireless on the path. Like he's become this inhuman weapon that has been aimed at another person that is not nearby. So it's going to get there.
But similarly,
don't Naruto run, kids, not even once. No Naruto running in this house.
But similarly, the ending with all the kids and like they go through like all the different houses, and it's like holy shit! Like all the different scenarios that they were in of like, oh, this is a family at home, this is an empty house, like all these. Again, didn't need to do that. You could have done that with a much smaller budget and just like had the kids run straight to her, but he wanted to make it funny and surprising, and there's a generosity there that I really appreciated.
I want to know how they did those scenes with the kids bursting through all the windows and stuff.
The glass.
It's so good. And and the funny little line you hear of the woman, like, now there's a man in our house.
Right. Josh Brolin's there. Yeah. Anyway.
Honey, it's Thanos. He's here.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I want to shout out, Zach Cregger really cementing himself as the guy who's making us afraid of like modern neighborhoods, in suburbia. Just like think back to like Halloween and how interesting it was that this crazy thing was happening in just like general, seemingly safe suburbia. And that kind of became the mainstream for a while. But the creepiness of going to an Airbnb is something you will think about Barbarian every time you do that. Whenever you encounter an owner's closet that you cannot open, what's in there? That's like an indelible thing he's like picking at in our psyches. And certainly for this movie too, suburbia, and also the sort of like innocence of our children going to school and how little we're doing to protect them. It's all there. It's all things he's playing with, and I think it's remarkable.
Indeed. So at the end of the day, it is really impressive that Zach Cregger made a movie. Thank you so much for watching this video of the Filmcast. Check out these other videos that we have available, and be sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to get other videos from us in the future.
You can also go to thefilmcast.com to catch all of our audio podcast versions of all of our episodes.
And support this podcast at patreon.com/filmpodcast, where you can sign up for ad-free episodes and exclusive After Darks.
Thanks so much to everyone who makes the Filmcast possible.